Today I have with me Jordan Veiga on the show. Let me tell you a little bit about his journey. I think you're going to find this fascinating and entirely inspirational. At the start of the year, Jordan decided to take on a fitness challenge, but this is not just any fitness challenge. He set three world records for himself in the year of 2023: 30 days, 6 months, and 1 year pull up record. He challenged himself to do over 1,000 pull ups a day for 365 days straight. He did not do this challenging endeavor for any kind of recognition or awards. Rather, his main goal is for this project to help inspire, motivate, and show people that with hard work, dedication, and consistency, they can accomplish their goals. He is also doing this project to raise awareness for mental health. He struggled with his mental health in the past, and working out every day was a great tool to help him overcome depression. Setting these world records isn't just about the physical challenge for Jordan. It is about showing the world that no matter what the obstacles are that you're facing, you have the strength within you to overcome them. Every pull up he does is a message of hope and resilience. Jordan, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. That was an awesome intro, and I'm excited to be on.
I'm excited to have you on. I have not had a guest. I've had an ex NFL pro football player, ex Olympic swimmer, but I have not had someone breaking world records for pull ups. So tell us a little bit, how did you go from being in a state of a mental health crisis of your own to doing 1,000 pull ups a day?
Yeah, so last year, last year was just a really tough year for me in general. Um, for me, I felt like I was kind of going through my own like midlife crisis. But yeah, I was just really unhappy with myself in terms of almost every facet of my life, whether it was fitness, whether it was work, whether it was my relationships. I was just struggling, and I went to therapy, and I definitely recommend therapy for anyone who just wants someone else to talk to or listen to, just because I think that's very helpful. But the thing that I noticed just really helped me on a daily basis was just working out and just getting a sweat going. I noticed every time I would just get off the couch and just try to be active in any type of way, I would feel a lot better about myself. I feel like just the endorphins that you get from the workout is amazing. It doesn't matter what type of workout it is, as long as you get up and get active and you start moving. I guarantee you'll feel better about yourself at the end of the day than if you were just to relax and take it easy. Although there are days where you should definitely take it easy.
I agree with you so much with this because I've had my own battle in the past with depression, and being physically active for me, it's resistance training, and I competed for a long time in bodybuilding shows. That was such an outlet for me. And so I know exactly what you're talking about, that movement, that action. And I just finished watching, I don't know if you've seen the documentary on Netflix about the blue zones where people live 100 plus years.
Yes.
And two things really stood out in these communities for me of why they're living so long. And it wasn't just nutrition or the obvious things. They move all day long. It's not even formal exercise. You're just moving all day long. It's part of their lifestyle.
Hmm.
And then they have a sense of purpose and they keep that purpose well into old age. So, for instance, in Japan, there's like no word for retirement, which I absolutely love because I think that sense of purpose along with that movement is key. So I want to ask you, why pull-ups?
Yeah, so it's a funny question because right around November of 2022, 2 months before I started my world record journey, uh, there was, I didn't even have an idea of this uh, world record journey that I'm currently on. So At that point in my life, I was spending a lot of time studying for my CPA because I'm currently an accountant by day. I spent about 500 hours studying for the CPA, and I was I knew it was I knew it was a good skill to have and like pursue, but it wasn't something I was super passionate about. And I really just tried to figure out what I really love, and and that was fitness. So one day I went into the gym and I was like, you know what? I'm having a bad day. I'm not going to leave the gym until I can't do any more pull-ups. And about like 4 hours later, after doing 500, I felt proud of myself, and I was like, wow, like this is incredible. It took me 4 hours to do this, but uh, I in a very long time after that workout, I felt proud of myself and I was happy about myself. And I'm like, and then from there, I just started researching pull-up records, and I realized that there were no pull-up records past 24 hours. And I was like, I know there is a push-up record for most push-ups in a year. I wonder what the pull-up record for most pull-ups in a year. And I did all my research and I just couldn't find anything. I couldn't find any world records set for most pull-ups past 24 hours. So from there, I kind of just had an idea. I was like, let's contact Guinness World Records because they are most known for their world records. If you think about a world record, everyone thinks about Guinness because that's pretty much the most well-known record company out there. So I wanted to see what the process was to set a new world record with Guinness. And that process was really difficult. I found out that in order to set a new world record with Guinness that Guinness currently does not have in their record book, then I would have to pay like a significant amount of money to have that Guinness's name behind the world record because they are a well-known company. So unfortunately, just due to like money issues, it wasn't a viable thing for me to work with Guinness, and our conversation pretty much ended with them saying, Jordan, we love your idea, but we think it might be just best if you move forward with this project with someone else. And I was like, man, like that sucks. Like I was really excited about this. I'm not really looking forward to taking my CPA. So if I want to make this happen, I got to make it happen. And so I just started researching like Guinness's competitors and see if I could somehow set a world record with them. And luckily I found this one of Guinness's competitors, World Record Academy, that was able to give me that opportunity. So I kind of just jumped at it. I had no idea where this project would take me or where this fitness journey would take me, but I kind of just took it in with open arms, and I knew if I went all in on this that I could do something special with it. So now 265 days into the year, I could honestly say I did not think I would be this far in the journey. But man, that's kind of just like a quick synopsis of like why I picked pull-ups and how I picked pull-ups. One day, I just wanted to test myself to see how many I could do, and it was probably one of the most proud I've ever been, just accomplishing that high number. And from there, I kind of just ran with it, and that's kind of how the project came alive.
Wow, I can really resonate with that though. I used to be a runner and I ran marathons. And the way that I started was I would drive past this area in Albuquerque. It's a private school, it's called the Academy. And all the way around, it's beautiful property, takes up, it's about a 5K to go around that. And I would see people running. And one day I just made up my mind, out of the blue, I'm going to put on these shoes. They were the wrong shoes, and run this whole entire thing with zero training. I was active in other ways, but I wasn't active that way. And I remember just being so sore and my feet all swollen. but that same sense of accomplishment. And then I just kept going for many, many years like that. So I think many things start like that, where you just have this idea like, hey, I think I want to do this thing and I'm going to do it. And the sense of accomplishment is so much. Now, mental health, I want to back up a little bit and talk about mental health. I really think it's a crisis right now. And I see it in a lot of young people, a lot of
Hmm.
youth, and it seems, especially since 2020, there's been an increase in this. What is your personal opinion on why this is such an issue?
Yeah, I think one, I think it's a huge issue for the youth because the younger generation, one, because there's so much toxicity on social media right now. And since like the younger generation, they're brought up with all these iPhones and the social media, they have so much quick access to all this information that could just be toxic to your mind. And I went through that. That was like, I noticed that um, around this time last year, I actually had to delete all my social media for three, yeah, for around 3, 4 months. I deactivated all my social media. I rarely like, if my friends wanted to hang out with me, they would have to like reach out to me and like call me personally. And I pretty much just isolated myself. And I realized just staying away from social media uh, just really helped me just kind of get back to like the things that I wanted to do, and it opened up more free time. I was less distracted. And once I kind of realized like I don't really need social media anymore, what I did was when I re-downloaded it, I wanted to re-download it so it would bring positivity to me. So what I did is I created like a new Instagram account. I didn't really follow anybody, but the only thing I followed was motivational pages. So anytime I would open up TikTok, it would just preach positivity to me instead of that negative, those negative things that you see when you open up Instagram or TikTok or whatever. So what I did, I just, what really, really helped me is I just started following all these motivational accounts that would just uh, be, well, if it would be like athletes just saying something inspirational or motivational speakers. Um, that's all I had on my Instagram for about a month, and that kind of just helped me just reprogram my mind and just kind of stay positive. And when I would open up my Instagram, it would, instead of like feeling sorry about myself or bad about myself afterwards, it was a total opposite. I'm like, okay, I could get through my day. I could get through this. I could get through this workout. So I really think social media right now is really hurting the younger generation. So if we could just figure out different ways to, um, yeah, instead of having a negative connotation with social media, if we could flip that around and where it could help us, then I think that would be a huge help just going forward with everyone's mental health.
I agree. I mean, even at my age, I can find it triggering. I just recently lost my whole Facebook account and business account because I got hacked 3 times and I'm locked out, can't get back in. And
Oh no.
initially, I was upset about it. Like, this took me years to build this business account. Boom, gone. But it's a bit of a relief because now it's just Instagram and YouTube. That's pretty much all that I have,
Hmm.
and that distraction is out of the way. So I know exactly what you're talking about, and it can be negative. People on there arguing about everything from nutrition to politics, and just
Exactly.
in a mean way too, not even having a civil debate, just
Hmm.
attacking one another. And then I think the comparison trap.
Yep.
And I we're adults, we can deal with that, but I think about the young kids, the very young boys and men and women getting on that don't have the tools yet to deal with that comparison trap.
Yeah, I feel like Yeah, I mean, I would at a younger age, I would always just like compare myself to like that person, or like why am I like not looking like that? And like you mentioned, it that comparison trap could just take a toll on you, where it's just like not even necessary at the end of the day. Like as long as you just continue focusing on yourself and just try to progress every single day, then that should be like your main goal. And like at the end of the day, whatever you're trying to do, as long as you're getting a little bit better, then that's all that matters.
Yes, just focusing on your goals where you're going. I call it staying in my lane, and I tell myself that all the time because I'll do it too. Even at my age, I'll look and go, "Oh, look what she's doing. Oh, she's her business is doing better or whatever." Just silly, silly things like that where I have to stop and say, "Okay, why is this triggering me, and is this necessary?" And kind of talk myself through it. Now,
Hmm.
as you went into your journey, was there anyone who inspired you, or did this motivation just really come from inside?
um I would all I definitely have. I think someone who really inspired me was David Goggins. During that time, I read his book "Can't Hurt Me," and I got to the section where he broke the Guinness World Record for the most pull-ups in 24 hours, and it took him like three different attempts to do it. And after hearing that, I was just really motivated. And then I realized in the book, I came across a section that said in training he did like 69,000 pull-ups in 9 months for training during that time. And me, since I'm an accountant, I just kind of opened up my Excel sheet real quick. I was like, 69,000, 9 months. Like, I wonder what that is on like on a daily basis. And it was like, I think it comes out to 250 or something. And I was like, 250? That's not too crazy. Like, I think I could do that. So that's kind of how I got the idea of like the long term pull up journey. I was like, I think I could at least break 69,000. And then, um, and then another big inspiration is Kobe Bryant for me.
Mm.
He's he will always be like my favorite athlete of all time. And growing up, I would be glued to the TV just watching him and Shaq play, and I would always just be admired by his work ethic, like how hard he worked, how long he stayed in the gym. He would always be willing to outwork anybody, no matter like what obstacle comes in his way. And before I started my journey, I kind of wanted to take on that mentality as well. Like no one's going to outwork me. I'm going to make sure uh, I'm one of the hardest workers when it comes to like pull ups, and I really just trying to hone in on the Mamba mentality, which is what he calls it. So those are my two inspirations that I truly carry in my heart every day.
Those are good ones. I love the work ethic because it's so true. In bodybuilding, you always have to remember because you're stepping on stage with other people. And I would
Mm-hmm.
always say, well, that person's not skipping their workout, or somebody somewhere is working harder than you're working right now, and spur myself on in that way because it's
Mm-hmm.
true. And I think that was Kobe Bryant's philosophy too, that he had to outwork everyone, not in a bad way, but in a
Mm-hmm.
positive way, do more work than everybody else. So I love that. Now, what does your family think of all this? Do they have opinions about it?
My mom, she definitely gets a little bit nervous at times. But my mom and dad, they watch every single one of my workouts. So I live stream my workouts on YouTube every day. So they're always watching the counter go up, and they're always excited when I finish. But they're super encouraging. I probably wouldn't be able to do it without them, just because they help me in so many different ways, whether it's like bringing me extra food or like surprising me with like extra tape for my hands. So they're just always helping me in little ways that just keep me going, and they know I'm a lot happier, even though I'm like exhausted every single day. So they just they want me to accomplish my goals.
How long does it take you each day to do this?
So at the beginning, it would take me around 4 hours to get to 1,000 pull-ups.
Wow, 4 hours.
But luckily, I've cut that in half. On a good day, I could get 1,000 pull-ups under 2 hours. On a tough day, on like an average day, it would take me like 2 hours, 40 minutes. So it really just depends on how fast I want to go, or if I'm feeling it, or if I didn't get much sleep, then I kind of know like, okay, this is going to be a tough one. I'm going to have to grind it out. But since I'm not giving my body too much time to recover, some days could be pretty tough.
So what do you do when you have, I mean, we all have those days. I have them too. People assume I don't because, they see me just go, 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 but I do, where I don't feel like going to the gym and I don't feel like lifting weight and I'm tired. And how do you get through those?
I feel the answer to that question has changed throughout the year journey. So for the first month, when I was trying to accomplish my first world record, which was right here, most pull-ups completed in 30 days.
Uh-huh.
So for the first 30 days, I could definitely say I was motivated, and I was I was motivated to get up every morning, do the workouts, do the workouts that I say that I was going to be doing every day, and prove to everyone that I am who I say I am. So for the first 30 days, I would definitely say motivation was able to get me through that. But then after around 50 days, I definitely do not feel like waking up every morning and doing 1,000 pull-ups. So I had to figure out different ways to get through those roadblocks and figure out how I'm going to get it done. So I feel like from like day 50 to my second world record, which is most pull-ups in 6 months, that was just, I wanted to prove to myself that I could make it this far. At that point in my journey, a lot of people are looking up to me. I'm also getting a lot of like hate on social media. People don't think I'm doing these workouts every single day. Like if I post like a short daily video, they'd be like, okay, like, yeah, right, you're doing 1,000 pull-ups a day for this long. So then that kind of motivated me too, like the doubters. But mostly I just wanted to prove to myself that I can make it through 6 months. And then now it's like, okay, today's day 265. So I have 100 days left in this journey. It's just now I'm like starting to develop a community where like people believe in me and like want me to exceed. So now I just want to go to the distance, and because I want to go the distance just because I think there's a lot of power in going the distance, saying that you have a goal and doing something about it, and showing people too that you could do what you're saying, that you could do what you say you're going to do. But I just think there's a lot of power in just going the distance, and that's kind of been my motivation for the past 30 days or so.
Yes, I mean, you hit on a couple of things there. I mean, first of all, motivation is fickle. It comes and it goes. I really, I coach women, and I try explaining that you can feel motivated in the beginning. You start a new fitness program. Yeah, I'm going to do all the things.
Yep.
And then you hit some valleys, you kind of go down in the valley and it gets a little hard and life happens, it gets lifey. And so you can't count on that. And that's when you've got to pull out that intrinsic, your why, your deeper why. And then you hit also on doing what you say you're going to do. And I refer to that as my inner word, because
Hmm.
at the end of the day, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm breaking and then I don't do it, I'm breaking my word to myself. And that
Exactly.
really bothers me. I think it's
Same.
important that we keep our inner word to ourselves, for our own sense of integrity.
Yeah, I feel the same way. If I say something, especially if I say it on social media, it's kind of like I signed a contract with myself, and that's my way of saying, okay, we're going to do this. Um, so just keeping a promise to myself has just been a a huge what's the word? Yeah, a huge resource just to just use, and kind of a way to trick your mind too. So that's been super helpful for me on my journey.
Yeah, you've proven to yourself, hey, I can do really hard, difficult, challenging things. That was my whole thing with the bodybuilding shows, because I'm not a stage person at all, not my personality, complete introvert. So as soon as I did it, I was like, oh, okay, what's next? I just did something I didn't think I could do. And I didn't fall over dead, and I didn't, I survived. And, what's next? And then
Hmm.
all this personal growth came, and some of the personal growth was not even fitness. It was other things. It was business things where I suddenly had the courage to try different things. Have you found the same to be true, that it kind of just seeps into your entire life?
Oh, by far. So, it's funny you ask, because one, I think fitness, it not only helps you like with your confidence, but it definitely rolls into every aspect of your life. At the start of the year, I was terrified to speak in front of a camera. I would like stutter on my words. I wouldn't really know what to say, and I would just get anxiety in front of the camera. But I literally just forced myself after each workout. Uh, I think Instagram, it gives you like 1 minute to post on a story. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to be in front of the camera, say whatever comes to mind for a minute, and post it. And then yeah, just doing that. It kind of just over time, I just kind of got more comfortable in front of the camera. Now I have like no fear doing podcasts anymore or talking to anyone about my journey. So I really think just being in the gym and grinding not only makes you feel more confident about like your health and fitness, but it also makes you feel more confident about all the other aspects of your life as well. So I've seen it in so many different ways, and yeah, that's another big thing why I just want to just show the community like what fitness could actually do for your mind and your mental health. I'm no scientist, but I know it helps.
It does. It does. There's a huge connection, mind body connection. And a lot of times people exist in these little, I don't know, cubicles, in a sense, where it's like, okay, I'm over here working out. That's my workout. Okay, now I'm in church. Now I'm here. Now I'm there. And I always argue, no, it's a whole integrated picture. You can't separate the mind from the body. No way.
You're so right.
Do you have plans to go into, I know you're doing accounting, but do you have plans to go into fitness at some point as a career?
Yes, so that is my one of my long-term goals. So right now, my short-term goal is to finish the year and finish my third world record attempt, and then I think in 2024, I definitely want to attempt the 24-hour Guinness World Record, because I for pull-ups. So that is like the most well-known pull-up world record. And when people think about like a world record for pull-ups, the first thing that comes to mind is the 24-hour record. Mostly because like David Goggins attempted it, he's brought like a lot of awareness to that as well. So I do want to attempt it. I think at some point in early 2024, um, I think I'll be ready to attempt it. So that's all my goal. And then once I attempt or break the 24-hour record, that's kind of when I want to go into coaching or training, and see if I could start a career in fitness.
Oh, you could absolutely do that and inspire people because you've got the mindset aspect of it all together. And that's to me a lot of it is the mindset part because people, people come to me for coaching. Oftentimes they already know what they're supposed to be doing. Like there's so much information and it's right at our fingertips. They just
Hmm.
really need somebody to walk alongside of them and hold them accountable.
Yeah, I think accountability is the the biggest thing. If you could be accountable to yourself and say the things that you want to do, then just over time you're just going to see the growth. I've noticed in my journey, a lot of times when I just don't feel like doing the workouts, I notice it's the battle between my mind and myself to I know it's a battle between my mind and myself figuring out different ways where like I could try to get out of this workout. But if you usually just don't give yourself a way out, then you'll see, okay, it's a lot easier now to just get up, start the workout and get going. So if you just figure out a way to eliminate distractions or ways that are going to affect you not reaching your goals, then um, over time it's just going to be a lot easier to show up because I think showing up is one of the biggest things. As long as you just show up and get yourself to the gym or put your shoes on and like take that first step to go on that run or whatever it is, it showing up is half the battle.
Oh, so true. When I used to run, that was especially true because those first couple of minutes kind of suck when you head out the door and you're out of breath and you haven't gotten your breathing, or at least this was my experience. It took me a bit to get my breathing steady. And then I was a distance athlete. So it's not like I just, came out of the gate, let's go. I
Hmm.
would feel terrible every time. And then something would start to happen. A couple minutes go by, all right, this isn't so bad. Then the breathing would settle in. Then it's like, oh, it's a nice morning. And my mind would feel meditative at that point. But most times when I headed out the door, those first 2 minutes were actually not very pleasant at
Yeah.
all.
It's so funny that you say that because pretty sure if anyone ever hops on my live stream for my workouts, I always mention at the very beginning that the first 100 pull-ups are not going to be pretty. My reps are going to be down. I'm probably going to be going a little bit slow. Uh, but I know like once I get through this first 10 minutes of this workout, 15 minutes, I'll be able to loosen up, get into a good groove. But I always let my viewers know these first 100 are going to suck. So just bear with me. And once I warm up, I'll be able to get into a good groove. But it's always the beginning of the workout's always the hardest. So as long as you could start um, whatever type of workout and continue for a few minutes, then I think you'll be able to at least get into some good groove.
Agreed. Pull-ups, they're so good. I was thinking about this as you're talking because you really are. You're working your shoulders, you're working your back, obviously, your lats, and the core really comes into play, maybe even a little bit of cardiovascular because you're pulling your body weight.
Hmm.
Are you doing other things in addition to the pull-ups, like to prepare for the pull-ups, or are the pull-ups the main event for you each day?
Yeah, the pull-ups are definitely my main workout each day. But what I have been incorporating is like every morning before I like hop in the shower, like I'll try to do like 100 air body squats,
Mm.
just to get my legs going, make sure that they're still working properly, and I don't have like too much deficiency in my upper body versus lower body. So just air squats, slow air squats, really help. And then I also, from time to time, I do the stationary bike, just because it helps with my cardio, helps with soreness too, and it's a good it's great for your knees or legs. But
Oh, yeah,
but
absolutely.
other than that, to warm up, I'll use these resistant bands right here. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much all I do.
That's a lot though. You're doing your cardio, getting some squats in. You've got the resist. I'm a big believer in resistance bands. I think they're fantastic and underrated. I mean, Tom Brady, I think that was his main way of training when he was off season, and on season was with the band. So big
Hmm.
believer in those. Now, what would you tell somebody? Because I hear this a lot. Someone will say to me, I just want to be, I've never done a pull up in my life, especially women. You hear this from maybe not so much men. You hear from women, and they're like, I just want to do one. It's a goal of mine. What advice? How can they do a pull up?
Well, there's two different ways. So, or two different machines that are really good. One is uh, the assisted weighted pull-ups. So I don't know if you go to the gym, like
Mhm.
there's a pull-up bar and you could put like your knees on it and you could pick the different amount of weight. So I think that is a great machine to kind of just get a baseline to see where you're at or how much extra resistance you need to help you get up the bar. So I would use that machine first to get a baseline and then work on that machine. And yeah, for like a good week and just kind of lower the resistance or the weight. And if you just keep lowering it, you could get to the bands and see how you feel on the bands. And you could also do different types of bands, different resistance. Like the bigger ones are give you more resistance. And then once you could get down to like a band like this, I think you're almost ready to be able to do one pull up. But yeah, bands or that weighted pull up machine. If you just continue to work on that, you'll slowly be able to develop the muscles to do one pull up.
So it's a progression where you're just slowly developing those muscles. What do you think the number one mistake people make when they're not able to do one? I mean, I'm thinking of something in my head right now, but I'm just curious what you'll say. What the number one mistake is of people doing a pull up or trying to do a pull up?
Um, let's see. I feel like a lot of people, if they can't do pull ups, they will use their legs and like kind of jerk up. And if they do that, they could definitely get some like back or neck injuries. So I don't recommend that. If you're trying to like jerk your way up with your legs, I recommend just hanging on the bar because hanging on the bar, one, it loosens up your muscles and it will strengthen your hands and your grip because grip is a lot of what it is for pull-ups. If you don't have like a good grip where you could hang on the bar, then I do recommend just hanging because that will strengthen the grip in your fingers.
I agree with you. That grip strength is big, and now they've linked it to longevity, which I find so interesting that people are, and not just longevity, but their health span, being having a better quality of life. And leg strength I know is one, but that grip strength is huge. And so I'll just do that. I'll sometimes just hang on the bar so that
Yep.
I don't lose that as I get older.
And yeah, if you hanging is so good at like even at the start of any workout, it loosens up your back, it loosens up like your shoulders, um, and I feel like it just aligns your spine. So I've heard a lot of good things about hanging. Hanging is just good for your whole body.
It is, yeah, and it lengthens, elongates, like you said, the spine. Now, I want to ask you, I don't want to forget to ask this. So most of my listeners are women, and they're women over mostly over 45, over 50. So they've got sons, they've got grandsons, and I've talked to so many women where, they have kids that are, I say kids, it could be, grown kids that are really struggling with mental health, they're struggling with drug addictions. What what try to word this correctly. What advice would you give those moms and dads that are really trying to come alongside of their son or their daughter and provide that support?
So that's a good question. So I, what I went through is, when I was going through my depression, I really didn't feel like I could talk to my parents about many different topics that I was going through. So, just because, I mean, I love my parents, but I know like if I bring certain topics up, they'll get very worried. Like my mom's like terrified right now because I have blisters on my hands.
Oh.
So like I totally understand that, but what I do recommend for the younger kids, um, find one of your buddies that you could really trust and talk to, like one of your really close friends, or um, and just I recommend just having a conversation with them. Tell them what you're going through, um, getting their advice on like different things that could help out. So someone that you could really trust and you consider one of your really good friends. I think that really goes a long way. Like a lot, when I was younger, I thought I don't know, I didn't I a lot of my friends noticed I would never really open up to them or like talk about how I feel with them. But over time, I realized like it's okay to like tell your good buddy like, dude, I'm just having a bad day. Like I don't know if I could get through this. I don't know how to get through it. I think talking to your close friends about what you're going through is one of the biggest one of the biggest things in like that healing process. And even it could be like the start of the healing process, just telling someone for the first time like what you're going through. So that really helped me in my personal life, just being able to have a good friend group that I could reach out to and let them know that like I'm struggling right now. Let's hop on a call or let's grab some lunch or dinner tonight. And the same goes for my friends too. If they're ever struggling, like I'm always like an open book to them, and they know that. Like, um, it just goes both ways. So I recommend trying to find someone that you trust and you have no issues like opening up to. That that is some I think that is something that is really powerful. But in terms of like parents, like it's definitely get it because they're worried. They know that something could be up, but a lot of the times, like younger kids, they're just not ready to tell their parents what they're going through or what is like actually going on in their lives, just because the kids know how their parents will feel. Them know that they might overact or cause like too much attention to the situation. So what's really helped me is just having a good friend group and being able to talk to them when I need them.
Yeah, support is really important. And I think that's one of the reasons we're struggling as a society right now is that isolation that kind of started, 2020. And then some people still haven't come out of that isolation. And it was difficult for them to kind of reemerge from that situation. And then I think too, it's harder for young men. I was thinking about that. Women are just more likely to spill it all
Mm-hmm.
and talk it over. And I am thinking about my husband right now, and especially from our generation, there was just you don't show any, you don't
Yeah.
tell anybody anything. You don't show any weakness, any, kinks
Mm-hmm.
in the armor. You keep that, to yourself.
Exactly. I feel like the generation above me, like men talking about mental health, it was just like really looked down upon, and it wasn't even really a thing. Like I feel like a lot of men in that are older than me, like 20 years ago, talking about mental health, it wasn't even like a topic or a discussion back then. So that's another big reason why I wanted to do this project, just for mental health, and just because I know a lot of men, they don't really want to speak up about mental health, but at the end of the day, everyone's going through their own issues, and And I think mental health is should be one of the biggest talking points, like on a daily basis.
Yes, there's no way to be entirely healthy, even if your body was just perfect and you were exercising every day, eating down to the inkling. But if that mental health isn't addressed, then that's going to affect, once again, that quality of life, that health span, longevity. People just aren't going to live as long if they're suffering from depression. I
Hmm.
mean, we see that as people age. So I really love that you're bringing that awareness, and I think it's so important for young men right now. And I'm sure there's younger men behind you, a generation watching what you're doing that are going to be positively affected.
Man, that's why I'm doing this. So some things like that are is just what keep me going. I've been getting like a lot of daily messages that from people I don't even know, and they say like I came across your page, I love what you're doing, and just little messages like that just kind of push me to keep going each day.
Well, I was glad you reached out to me because I looked over and I'm like, oh, who is this? And I went, oh, wow, look what he's doing. This is so awesome. And then I loved your mission and your purpose just really spoke to me. Well, I want to be respectful of your time. So as we wrap up, is there anything that I didn't mention that you'd like the listeners to know? And how can they follow your work, get a hold of you?
Yeah, so if you like to um, if you like to see my daily workouts on a daily basis, you could visit Set the Bar Project. It's one word on Instagram or YouTube. So all my workouts are live stream on YouTube every day. I record every single pull up that I do every day. So if you like to watch it, you could watch me there. And then also on my Instagram, I have a GoFundMe set up for NAMI. That's the organization that I'm currently donating all of the donations to. And NAMI is a organization centered around mental health and mental illness. And all my donations at the end of the year will be going to them. So if you guys like my project or want to donate a few bucks to this mental health organization, that would be really cool. And in terms of anything before I go, let's see. Yeah, I guess my main message is if you, fitness could do wonders for your mental health. So if you guys are struggling or just like just struggling through your day or whatever it is, just try to get up off the couch, go for a run, go for a walk, whatever it is, and I guarantee that once you're done with that workout, you'll feel a lot better about yourself.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. Jordan, I love what you're doing. I appreciate you so much, you taking time out of your day, coming on the show. I know that the listeners are really going to enjoy this, get so much value. I really do appreciate your work and you coming on.
Well, thank you for having me, and you have a great day as well.
And to our listeners, wherever you are in the world, we wish you every blessing. Bye for now.